Hail Internet, it's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about the season finale of Counterpart. It was part 2 of No Man's Land,
Yes.
episode 10. And
April Fools.
You get a good point. It wasn't April Fools. I don't know if they April Fools us so much.
No,
Although
the previous week was April Fools.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But I would say, I think Paul is in more of a yay this episode camp than I am.
Yay.
I like the episode. I think it's like, if it would have been a mid-season episode, I would have been like, awesome. More to come. But as a season ender, it felt like there were still so many loose ends. I would have liked some of them tied up. Tie up maybe 3 loose ends, allow 3 to go on, and then create a new one. Oh my God, what's that new loose end? Instead, it was like, all those loose ends? They're still loose ends. So now we have to wait, 10 months to get the next. Season 2 is a thing. They've already started filming it. We'll talk more about what we think about season 2, but sure. I did notice there was a casting thing for that, which was they're going to bring in a character who is it's Betty Gabriel. She was from Get Out. Anyway, she is playing a former FBI agent brought into the Office of Interchange to clean house.
Ooh.
So there you go. They're bringing in the Americans.
Interesting.
Anyway, all right. Back to this thing. Boom. So we open with news footage and basically the aftermath of the terrorist attack on the Office of Interchange.
Yes.
People are just dazedly walking around, bleeding. People are getting care.
German ambulance people are coming up to attend to people.
Somebody mentions that person saved me.
Yes.
Where did that guy go? We should say this. After last week, where we had a little video where we said, what are we going to call these folks?
Oh, yes.
And some great comments, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you, people, for commenting. I did like the idea of calling Howard, and then the Howard from the other side, Silk. But that really wouldn't resolve the problem of Emily or any other mirror people. So what we're going to do is, I personally don't want to do the alpha thing.
Right.
So we're not doing Alphaville. Forever young. Okay, there we go. That's German, by the way. There we go. I did a little tie-in.
Oh.
Okay, no. We're just going to go with Howard is our world Howard. And then other side is Howard Prime.
There you go.
Emily Prime. And I think those are the only 2 we need to worry about. Everybody else
because,
pretty much has...
Baldwin is dead, or
Nadia's dead.
That was the only one that they made it perfect. So, if everybody had a code name.
That's right.
So,
you are.
Nadia and Baldwin, but really it's Nadia Prime.
Right, good point. But we're not doing Nadia Prime, we're doing Baldwin. All right, here we go. All right, got it. So, when we say Howard Prime, what we're saying is the Howard from the other side of the Prince is Alive side. Okay, got it. So, Howard Prime, new lexicon, Howard Prime is basically on the run. He is deciding, I'm just going to bail and try to get out of town. Which changes later in the episode. But he's on his way out. And we cut to, I don't know, right away, I think we cut to Peter Quayle in the hospital.
Yeah, I think they did.
Pretty early on. He's in the hospital. He survived. As we predicted, it's try to kill yourself in a car that's got airbags and drive. I don't know. So yeah, he got hurt.
As Claire points out, when Quayle is like, "Well, you're walking around free."
She's like, "Oh, you used a seatbelt, so
yeah, you obviously don't want to kill yourself." Which I'm wondering if it was sort of like, I'm sure you didn't. You're not too stupid to take off your seatbelt in order to kill yourself. You really wanted to survive and work to save our family.
You gave us an alibi.
Yes, that was
you
smart.
Were so smart.
Yeah, not the idiot that I've been married to all this time. No.
Which is a through line for this guy. The season, but this episode in particular is stupid guy who gets everything.
Yes.
He just falls into everything.
All the time.
Oh, God bless that guy.
Yes.
And Dialect, who's one of our commenters, we were wrong. He lived. Peter Quayle survived season 1
Yes.
against all odds. He tried to kill himself, and he still survived.
He's invincible.
Yeah, man, that guy. Woo! All right, so yeah, he's basically got my arm's in a cast or a sling.
He can't hold his baby.
Meanwhile, Claire, Band-Aid, fine.
Yep.
She's like, car wreck. I'm fine.
Good thing about being a spy is you can,
Yeah, she knows how to take a hit.
Yep.
So she's perfectly fine. Very chilling was her watching the footage. She's in the hospital room standing next to Quayle. They have the news footage on. She's just watching, sipping some coffee, and it just seems like, yep, cool, awesome. We killed some folks. That's great. This plan's coming along perfectly. Like, oh God, she's still a spy.
Yeah,
she's not like putting it behind her. She's not like, you know what? That's my past life. I'm now. Nope. No. She's still on target.
Well, we presume that, right?
Yeah.
The only thing she sort of acknowledges is that, you're fighting for our family. So...
She's recruited. She has successfully recruited Peter Quayle.
Yeah.
And he's totally on Team Claire.
Yeah, like, as they progress, the more like, and you didn't tell us? It's this long, you didn't tell us? Is becoming more and more of a problem for him.
Yeah. And obviously part of the reason he's Team Claire is because he's worried about his own butt. And if he's not Team Claire, he'll probably go to jail or worse, whatever. So it makes sense, but he's like, yep, I'm in.
Yeah, well, you didn't say those words. He just dutifully follows along. Because, he's saying, is this it? This is the reason why?
Right, this was a very important moment in the episode.
Claire was like, this is just the beginning.
She's like, this is the beginning. As the next weeks and months come about, they're going to bring diplomacy into this, which, by the way, that's her dad.
Yep.
We do see, we'll skip around a little bit here, but we see, the dad, West Wing, Roland, that's his name in the show,
yes.
Not West Wing. Roland even mentions, he kind of convinced me that he wasn't like some kind of prime spy or anything, because he was genuinely shocked at what had happened, and he noted, he mentioned this thing to Quayle, where he's like, I just gave my secretary a scarf, and then she ran around shooting people, and she didn't shoot me. How did she not shoot? He calls into question what we were asking last week, which is, why didn't he get shot?
Yeah, and I think if he really wanted to, if he was a part of this plan, he probably would have turned the screws more on Quayle to be like, you're going to do what I want.
Right. And as you pointed out at one point, we do see that Prime Claire, it's Claire. Claire's, I guess we should say Prime Claire.
Yeah.
Prime Claire's parents, we saw, had died. So there isn't a Prime Roland, as far as we know. So this would be, Roland would have to be just in this world and then be a conspirator, which is, anyway, it's weird.
Weird, yeah.
It
Kill my
probably
daughter,
wouldn't.
I'd rather have a prime daughter anyway.
Yeah. So we're going to take it that he is a legit guy trying to do his best for his side.
Yes.
But obviously a very good reason not to kill him off is that, oh yeah, by the way, your daughter is the spy, and she can totally be manipulative and or do what she did to Peter Quayle, which is steal all his files and copy them. And
right. But another thing I like to point out is he recognizes his previous stupidity in favoring the diplomatic ends over more practical ends, like let's find out who's attacking us. Let's do that. No. What can we get out of it? And so when Baldwin attacked earlier and Quayle was saying, we need to hold on to her to find out information, he was like, no, forget it. And so he admits that he made a mistake that caused somebody's death. And once they have a meeting, he's like, no, let's not find out more information. Let's keep out of it so we can get more out of them.
So you're saying that shows maybe his level of incompetence, or you're saying what?
Well, he's so tied to that level of thinking.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, you could. I think you could also make an effective argument that that the other side did make it was an error in not fessing up to the problem.
Which we'll get to.
Which is why you have Prime Emily telling them what to do and they don't ignore it.
Very interesting scene.
But still, it's like, I think it's credible the way they are not getting more information because, but really, it's like the primary reason they're not getting more information so we can have more of a show. I mean,
true.
It's like, it's credible how Quayle is an incompetent idiot But it helps the show.
Right. It also helps the show. Yes, if he was good at his job, many of the show's plot elements would not have come about.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, so right, Roland apologizes to Quayle. At one point, it could play out as a comedy. It really could. Yeah. And in fact, I was just reading a New York Times article where the showrunner was saying there's no one less qualified for his job than Peter Quayle, and it does play out like a black comedy, and it's true. It's just like so he stumbles into this moment where Roland is saying, all these horrible things happened, and you knew it was coming.
Yeah, it's like,
and there's that like, what do you know? And he's like, yep, you were right with that Baldwin exchange. I mean, he didn't say Baldwin exchange, but that's what he's referring to. That you called it, and I didn't listen. And damn it, you're awesome. You're coming with me to this meeting because you're about to get basically a promotion. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so back in we've got the situation where Claire says at the beginning, we got months to go.
Tells him that he needs to go into work so they can see how he's fucked up because that's why he wasn't there getting shot. Right.
And so, yeah, there's another comedic beat in a way. Was him walking around with this arm in a sling. He's walking through blood spatter and other stuff. And I'm assuming half the people or more assume, he was in the... He was in this terrorist act. That's why he's hurt. And he's still here at work. Maybe. But like a few people would know. Oh yeah, he actually got in a car wreck because he was like driving drunk and trying to kill himself. I don't know. I mean, it's just funny that he's walking around. He's not going out of his way to go. I wasn't here. Anyway, what's going on? Yeah, I'm hurt too. See, I'm hurt just like everyone else. I'm part of the team. I don't know. Just kind of again, it fits the environment.
Yes,
his injury is like not out of place at all.
No. Well, yes, right. Yeah, it's a question of how many people actually know about his accident and the circumstances, because that's another thing they did is that it's no breathalyzer for this guy.
Yeah. Oh, right. So that we assume that's Roland, the father, worked it out. But yeah, so he was gonna get a DUI and maybe some pretty bad charges, and the charges got wiped away mysteriously. So I think. When we see him confronting that when he's walking to Roland's office before everything good happens to him,
yes,
he does a great job at selling like it's the walk of death. Like
and Roland does a great job of sort of like you got into a car accident with like I would offer you a drink, but
blah 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 blah. And he's like your daughter's fine, Claire's fine, by the way.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Good to hear. Yeah. Wow, you didn't kill her with your car. So yeah, great. That was all well played out, and then ta-da! Everything's fine.
Now we have to go to
Peter Quayle
this meeting, because you're the only smart guy. I want you to come. Is that okay with you?
Right.
Is that okay with you? You knew all this stuff, but
the luckiest man in the world.
Okay. Is that okay?
Should we jump to that meeting, or do we go back over to the other side temporarily? Well, we have Howard.
We haven't said, right? Because the most important act in the last one was the guy getting shot and scrambling to the...
Angel Eyes.
Yes, Angel Eyes.
So, sorry, go ahead.
He scrambles to the point that's the midway point between the two places, and nobody wants to touch him.
He always keeps one body part over the line. I noticed that. Even when he crawls to the little block, he keeps his foot across the yellow line. Because he wants to have some part in both sides.
Interesting. And so he's trying to keep himself alive. And so on the other side, Prime Claire and Prime Ian, right? We haven't seen that regular Ian, but still, Prime Ian and Prime Claire go to their boss, Prime whoever he is. And
Prime Emily. You said Prime Claire, sorry.
Prime Emily, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Prime Emily and Prime Ian.
Right, you're right.
Go to their boss.
Correct. So yeah, Prime Emily and Prime Ian go to their boss. And he's like, I'm going to, give my condolences, I guess, about this thing. And they're like, don't do that, because, they know that we know what happened, and they think we're probably to blame, and we are, actually. And so...
Thoughts and prayers, not going to be a good idea.
Yeah, no, thoughts and prayers not going to be a good idea. So they step to the side, and they tell him what's going on. And so, then they have to go into a meeting. And because Claire has a better idea what's going on, they're like, Claire, could you tell us what's going on? Emily, thank you. Sorry. Emily. So Emily has to tell them what's going on. And it's interesting, her report, because at the end of it, she gives, it's like she has to say it a couple of times, where it's like, if we don't do anything, they will think we did it, and so we have to get this guy and tell them.
Yeah, her standing up for the one voice of what would seem to be reason in the room is interesting. All right, so let's just talk about it since we brought this up. Okay.
Yeah, because it's hard to talk about those two meetings without talking about it at the same time.
This is maybe the most intriguing scene in this episode.
I'm not sold on it entirely, but yes.
You're not sold that it's intriguing?
No, on what they did.
Okay. So, we get to hear from management.
Yes.
The fourth floor.
Yes.
For the first time.
Yes.
I think, as far as I know.
Yeah. We never saw that stupid
device, right. So we see, at least, it's cut so that it appears that it's happening simultaneously.
Yes.
It may or may not be, but
yes.
Whatever. Simultaneously, we see management having a board meeting at a big table on one side, and then the management having a meeting with a big boardroom table on another side.
Yeah, rooms that don't look that different to me.
They do not. They do not. And the devices look very similar.
Yes.
Slightly different, but basically the same.
Yeah.
They're like these little tripod box with the
all these different cameras there, like some weird.
It does look like 60s tech. Kind of stuff. Anyway, so it's and then and you hear some garbled like, and then each side has their own interpreter or translator. You get the headset on, and they are supposedly saying what they're hearing in this box.
Yes.
Supposedly, and so that's the way that they communicate with this unseen force. So the suggestion is, no one has seen or knows who management is.
Yes.
Apparently they do this ritual to stay completely obscure.
Yes.
And it's a pretty involved ritual. I mean, geez, I could think of a lot of different ways you could just, you have to go through, like, for instance, we have a conference call. The guy's got a voice modulator on, or whatever.
Why do you need that?
I don't know.
Exactly. Why do you need that?
Yeah.
Why do you need to have your voice is not heard by anybody? Why do you need to
I assume it's so that
communicate via something that needs some kind of radio transmission or something?
The idea.
What the hell?
The idea that
not sold. I don't know why. So,
yeah.
Like,
I'm guessing. Let's say there's a guy named Jerry, and he's management.
Yes.
I assume Jerry doesn't want anyone to know that he's management for whatever reason, because he might get bumped off or something, or he's paranoid.
I
get, but everyone in the office.
On both sides?
Yeah. So what it led me to think, when you theorize, please, in the comments. I love reading those things, and a lot of those theories are on point.
Yeah.
This particular one calls up a lot of different possible theories. One I had immediately, my immediate thought was, is it the same people? Yeah. Like, is management the same on both sides? Like, they come up to a point in the middle. It's like, management, we control everything. Or is there some third actor that's now up there? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, it's mysterious and something obviously they'll talk about in season 2. But point being, both sides of management decide not to do anything for the time being. All right, so the one side's like, we shouldn't go get him. They take advice from Peter Quayle, Mr. Quayle.
They get the
our astute organization has figured out that you are best qualified.
Well, it's like
to handle this.
It's like I love the whole conversation. It's like he's not used to talking, and he's like, "What's going on with it?" And Roland has to tell him like, we've never seen him before, and he's like looking around like, they realize I took this newbie in here or something. I don't know why he's looking around like that, but it's like he's like, there's a question. He looks over to Roland. Is it okay if I talk? Yes, they're from the other side. And it's like they hear from the guy who we've never seen before. No, we hear from the guy who we've never seen before. Right, but we hear from this other guy who is like, okay, we need to get this guy and interpret and figure out more information, because we don't know how many people are involved. And then Rowan is up there like, no, we need to, leave him where he is so they can claim him, and then we can jam it down their throats and be like, we want more out of this. He's still thinking about, this is what I was talking about before, he's still thinking about
the diplomatic how you get one up.
Right, exactly. And you could also say, too, like, considering where the end of it is, they close the door, is like, okay, well, then that's the next thing then, in terms of, it's like, if they're not willing to take responsibility, then we have to take the next step. We have to escalate it. So, but still, it's sort of like, it would help you to get some more information. It just would. It would help you. So even though before, when you want to get more information, you're like, no, we must use this to get more leverage over them. Led to people's death, but let me do it again.
All right. I see what you're saying. It's a short-sighted policy.
Yes.
His let's try to get as many favors built up, and all right. So
because I think even if they had done that, Angel Eyes and the whole purpose of that is to cause more trouble. So while you could say like, oh, we're not going to touch him, he's not yours, so you could pull him over there and be like, okay, tell us everything you know, and he has some reason to give them some information, like, yes, I am theirs. And here's my name, rank, and serial number.
In fact, that's a good point. Early on, we see Aldrich hanging out at we have Prime Angel Eyes. We have regular Angel Eyes.
Yes.
At his place, they find his body.
Right.
And they make the point. They just left it out here for us to find.
Right.
They wanted us to know these are doubles.
And so they're like, clean it up.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're, Roland goes in front of the cameras and like, nope, there was only one shooter. And it's just workplace problems or whatever.
Yeah.
They're trying to cover it all
mental
up.
illness. There's
Right,
one
exactly.
person and he shot a thing and he was bad and we're done with it and the problem solved. He seems to be like, he's pretty good at lying. A lot of people are on the show, but he's
right. But they're trying to keep, they're trying to still
maintain order.
Yeah, maintain order when they really don't know the level of the threat that they're facing.
Yeah. So each side's like, leave the dude in no man's land for now.
Yep.
We'll figure out what to do later. Well, later he dies.
Yes.
And so finally I think it's from the Prime side. I couldn't tell exactly, but my thought was it was a Prime side guard.
Yeah.
Comes across and goes, oh, he's dead.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Too late.
Yep.
So, do we think that was Angel Eyes' plan? I think his plan was to go to no man's land.
Right.
Was his plan to die there? Or like if everything had worked
think
out, let's say he gets there unhurt.
Right.
Does he shoot himself? Like what is he?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I presume that
Pee break,
good question.
whatever.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
I guess that's the place where he knew he accomplished what he needed to accomplish.
Right. He wanted because even if let's say the Prime side listens to Emily Prime and says, "All right, we're going to go get this guy, and then we're going to say he's not ours. This wasn't our man, but we're taking him, and we realize there's a bad threat out there that both of us need to face."
Right.
Probably our side would think they're lying. I mean, at least
they might.
So one way or another, that door probably closes anyway. So he could accomplish his goal. Just get there, let them disagree. They're gonna, no matter what happens to me, those doors are probably gonna close.
Probably he wants the doors to close, but I don't necessarily think that was his objective. I think it's a terrorist attack designed to say, "Look, we're mad at you. We want to hurt you." That's the point of it. So they did that, and they did it in a way that, even though on the our side or whatever, the sides of most like us, that side they're trying to say nothing's happening. The actual people who know are taking it seriously. So it's letting them know that okay, we can't trust these people, and so it's possible that the Prime side may end up losing something that they really need, and therefore they have to make a choice. The whole choice there's a fight in that department between people who want to, punish the other side, and people who are like, let's keep things as they are, presumably, or presumably it's a way for those people who think, no, they screwed us to win.
Yeah, gives pushing people closer to war.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is decided finally the doors close, and all traffic back and forth is stopped.
Yep.
Which also obviously means that Howard and Prime Howard are stuck on opposite side. They can't get back.
Yeah.
So there's that great moment too within that meeting when it's announced that Peter Quayle is now in charge of figuring out who the infiltrators were, or he's in charge of figuring out where the traitors are.
Yes. Yeah.
The guy living with Claire, which by the way I would be if I was Howard Prime, I'd be like, oh boy.
Well,
but we see later they have a meeting. But I'm just saying,
yes.
I'd be thinking, oh, this dude's gonna pin this thing on me big time. He already tried. Of course, conveniently, everyone he told died.
Right.
But he could easily go, I found the traitors.
Right.
Emily and Howard.
Right.
Whatever. So I feel like that's where that's going. Is my guess. In season 2.
Even considering how it ends.
I think so. I think it's a very uneasy truce at best, and Peter Quayle just seems to be totally, I don't know, his own self-interest. He feels like, oh, once I accuse Howard, I mean, I can imagine, I accuse Howard Prime, he goes, oh no, it was Claire. I mean, he's going to be, what are you going to take? Whose word are you going to take? An admitted spy from the other side, or my wife?
Those are the only choices he has?
I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just going, I feel like that truce won't last. But just to mention it, there is a truce at the end where Howard Prime finds Peter Quayle in a bar, which, by the way, he's hanging out in a bar. Like all the things that have happened to him, I assume it's the end of that day where he's got a spy wife hanging out at home.
Yes.
I think that was after he discovered that she had killed Cyrus in the house. He's just, all this stuff's happened, and he's still like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm just going to go and grab a drink.
I think he goes home to the bar. After that. I don't think it's after that.
Okay, I think it's after that. Anyway, it's just funny that, I don't know.
Yeah, because although if he had seen him dead on the floor, then he wouldn't have been surprised at all that Aldrich was dead. Yeah,
but I feel like he comes back, because remember, he comes home at the end, and she's having dinner made. Because she does that. She had the meeting, she being Claire, had this meeting with her mom.
Yeah.
And it was like, what do you do when everything's horrible? And she's like, just put a face on and make a dinner.
That was.
And so she puts the face on and makes a dinner.
It was weird because, like, first she's like, if I see that guy, smelling like he has alcohol in his breath, and was saying, you want to, are you gonna leave him? Is this it for whatever? And she was like, no, everything is fine. And then, just smile on through it. What? It was kind of weird.
But so my point being, though,
it's like really this advice is for a spy.
Yeah, good point. Maybe she is. I don't know. Maybe that's the spy. Okay, maybe not. Okay, never. Everybody's a spy in this thing. Okay, but
it's all in their minds.
I could be wrong, but I feel like that is another. It's post cleanup, because obviously when Cyrus is lying there on the floor and there's blood everywhere,
yes.
That was not let's have dinner. Like that was okay, let's start cleaning up. Cut to other scenes. Later, let's have dinner. Not let's have dinner over a bloody corpse.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think all that stuff had happened. It's just like Peter Quayle's still like, I got to work into my schedule. I gotta go hang out at the bar. Everything is happening around me. Anyway,
he's like, I don't like cleaning up blood, so.
But yeah, so he goes to the bar, which hey, good for him because Howard Prime knows where to find him. I go to the bar. Howard Prime finds him and basically says, "Look, everyone who knew about Claire is dead except me, and I ain't telling nobody as long as Emily stays alive."
Yes.
Interestingly, for the theorists out there, of which there are some in our comments, and we've made this theory as well, that perhaps Emily is in fact Emily Prime.
Yeah.
Just adding fuel to that theory is the fact that Howard Prime, when he's making the deal with Peter Quayle, you're Peter in this. I don't know. Anyway,
he's always thought that I was incompetent.
That's it. There it is. But he says, "Hey, I won't do anything to your wife. You don't do anything to my wife." Peter Quayle's like, "Your wife," and oh, you know what I mean, which is exactly what I just said. No. There's more than a hint that perhaps somehow Emily, coming out of the coma, is in fact Emily Prime. But we can talk about theories on that, please. In the comments again. That's something we can chat about. But there's some. You can make that case.
If that's true, I think I'm guessing that would probably felt more consequential to you if they had revealed that.
It would have been, yes. That would have been a dun 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 moment. Yes, that would have been a good season ender.
Obviously, they're saving that.
Now, the only thing about that theory that's tricky for me to parse through is that means that what we're currently calling Emily Prime is in fact Emily, and that at some point she must have made. I say must. I don't know. I guess you could make any kind of story you want when it's but theoretically she had to make a conscious choice to switch with her other.
Yes.
For whatever purpose that might be.
Right.
So that seems a little weird, but
right, we don't know why that would have occurred.
Yeah.
We can't think. I mean,
maybe they just both wanted to get intel on each other's side. They were like, you know what, we're gonna break down the walls of ignorance and inform on each other. I don't know. Anyway, so we've got.
I mean, she mentioned during the meeting actually war games, which I liked her saying that, and yet that could be another war game where it's like, okay, we're gonna switch the people over and see what we can see.
Oh, by the way, it's a little side note, but
and remember we thought that her mother, Emily's mother.
Yes.
So actual mother was kind of weird. It's like
she was
very
weird.
She looks like she can act. She looks like she's kind of important. Why were we seeing her? What the heck is that about?
She was moving back into town, but then we never saw any more of that.
Two plays because you mentioned about Emily in this, right? What he said in the interview.
Yes. Oh, right. So the showrunner, Justin Marks, I think is his name, in the New York Times article, he mentions, hey, when we were trying to get Olivia Williams, the actress who plays Emily, to do this role. No, actually, she doesn't play Emily Prime. No. The only way we could convince her to take on the role was to say that, yes, even though Emily is in a coma, she is in fact the most complex character on the show. And so they told her the 2-season arc for the two Emilys and who they really are, is what this article says. So that suggests, obviously, there's big revelations to come.
Yes.
In regards to that.
Yes. Pope has been saying a number of times that she is crafty and she's someone you shouldn't trust. Emily Prime is who he's talking about. But in his final showdown, that Howard stupidly decides to. Wow.
I don't know who's stupider though in that moment.
Howard is stupid.
So is Pope.
He's Pope, but only because he overestimates how stupid Howard is.
Yes, he underestimates Howard. Basically, is what he is.
Yes, he
overestimates how stupid he is. He underestimates.
Yes.
Yes. He underestimates the crap out of him.
Yes.
We'll talk. So, but let's talk about that scene because that's an important scene. So, Howard, against the advice of the cohort.
He kind of gives. He said he's not the kind of guy.
He's not going to make deals.
No, he's not that kind of guy. And so when Howard asked him, what would Howard Prime do?
Yeah.
The guy says, you do what you do is run. But he wouldn't run to that guy.
He wouldn't run to the guy, right? He'd just run away.
Yes.
But so
just like the actual Howard Prime did. I'm not running away.
Yeah.
My buddy on the other side knows me so well. I am running away.
So Howard sets up a meeting with Pope and goes to his study. And that's the other thing is they didn't meet in a public setting.
No, they met at the church that that Howard Prime was meeting there, and also that Emily also met in the church too. Emily Prime met. Right,
the church is important, but it's a public space, and he always had his goons hanging out in other pews.
Yeah,
and for instance,
on the streets.
When Ian confronts him in a previous episode, Ian puts a gun to him out in the park.
Yes.
Well, the next thing you know, he's got a goon with a gun in the back of his head.
Right.
In this case, he's like, no, I'm going to meet him in private in my study.
Yep, this guy's that dumb.
You guards stay out there. This guy's stupid. I got this.
And don't be close to the door.
Right.
You might get hit in the head.
Right. If you hear a loud noise. Or if suddenly he comes out the door and without me.
Well, he never did, though. He just stayed in there over his dead body until he was saved miraculously. You didn't even hear anything. They're that bad that you don't hear when they get killed.
Yeah.
So Ian and his guy can come and kill him, and you wouldn't even know.
So Pope insults the crap out of him again. He basically insults him every time he sees him.
He does.
Like the last time he saw him out in the park, he was like, "Oh, you are lame."
Yeah.
And so he's basically scoffing at Howard and basically says, "All right, fine. You want to go back? I can help you get back." Of course, he can't at that moment because the doors.
No, but I mean,
but he doesn't know that.
No.
Maybe. But so anyway,
even still, potentially, if we ever get back, you could,
right? I'll help you get back, but you got to work for me. Howard's like, no. And in fact, Pope reminds him to his face.
Yes.
I was the one who tried to kill your wife. You're like,
yes. He's like, even that, but trust me, we'll go off and we won't bother you at all. It's like, you dumbass. And that was the thing. He was like, look, here, you don't know who your wife is. You don't know, and the audience doesn't know.
So Pope pulls out these letters.
Yes.
And is like, all right.
Reading them to him because maybe he thinks maybe the guy can't read. He's that dumb. Yeah. So I will read them out loud to you.
And it's basically, showing those. We'd seen some version of those letters before where it's...
Yes, we'd overheard
it's
the
Emily writing to Howard Prime.
Yes. Saying, look out for my Howard.
Right, and hey, here's what there's something bad's happening on my side, and blah blah blah.
They found me out.
But there's a lot of correspondence. It's not just like
he said, and there are others.
Right. So
he's like, yeah, hey, that's not gonna. He's like, okay, that's pathetic. Your plan. I'm just gonna do.
And he said something like, imagine what Howard Prime might be doing on that side.
Yes, right, with your wife.
With your wife,
which you don't know who your wife is.
Yeah, well.
So, but even then, I don't want to make those mistakes. That's all he's thinking about is, like, my wife would never forgive me. Well, you don't know your wife. And I'm not going to make the same mistake he made by betraying my wife.
He does say something interesting, too, that I forgot the exact line, but it's a cool one. Pope says something like, if you don't become him, he'll become you, or something like that. It's like it's an interesting turn of phrase.
Yeah, kind of,
whatever. So we come then to the moment of Pope's like, nope. If you're not going to help me, then screw you. I'm just going to shoot you.
To me, so I will turn very slowly.
Let me get this drawer.
Get this gun.
I'm going to pull the gun out while I'm insulting you.
First, I'll have to explain you what guns do.
Yes,
because you're so stupid.
So he gets hit in the head with a fire poker. So here's what.
He didn't even get that far on the word. I had to look at to verify that he was going to say stupid. I had to look into the subtitles to see that it was stupid, but he stupid.
So Pope forgot the first rule of villain exposition, which is, first of all, don't do it. But second of all, if you're going to do the exposition, at least get the gun out first, point it at the hero, then tell them what you're about to do.
Yes.
You're still probably going to get whacked. But whatever, at least then but he was doing it while he was acquiring the gun very slowly.
Yes.
Anyway, so he basically gave him every opportunity to hit him. So and he died. I mean, it was a one shot.
Yeah,
good job.
He probably has a poker and it probably had a little spike.
Yeah,
or whatever,
and he's kind of a frail dude.
And he has a disease.
And so Bonk killed Pope.
Pope's
gone.
Yep.
So that's the head of this organization is gone as far as we know.
Poor Howard didn't know what to do after that. So he just stands there looking at his body bleed. So Ian and his cohort comes in and that's not the weird thing, but it's like, let you know, like, Ian just doesn't care.
That was one of the darker moments, actually. I don't say in the show, because there's a lot of dark moments in the show, but in that episode, that was
clear,
pretty dark.
He is not the one, but as far as I'm concerned, you are the same guy.
Yeah. From where I sit, you're very much alike. And so Ian, out of jealousy,
it appears that way.
Sends Howard basically off to, like, Abu Ghraib, more or less. Or
I guess, I don't ever see him again. Now, you think,
solitary, for sure. And he didn't put on, like, a prison jumpsuit. Nope. They're just like, in your clothes, in a bag, go.
Yeah.
And he's just put in a box. And that's pretty... Woo! Yeah. Ouch! Ian was... that's a
So when Ian apparently has a bag, so I guess he's leaving. He's leaving the apartment of Emily. Prime, and
so he's breaking up the relationship.
Yeah, and she's like, "What happened to him?" It's like, "That's the question you asked." Well, yes, it is the question I have asked. Because where is he?
But you realize where he's coming from in that, right?
Of course, yes.
Because he's like, you never mentioned that you knew it was actually Howard the whole time.
You wouldn't have understood.
And now
you
instead,
just made
just
it
like,
clear that you really don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even care that this is clearly not the Howard that you're used to. No, they're the same.
So he says something where they sent him off to Echo or something. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, Echo, I think he said.
But he's like, I'll leave your name out of it.
Yeah.
And he walks off. And yeah, so for now, I mean, it ends with Howard is a lot of trouble. I'll say this about him: he didn't like. You would almost expect the Howard that we knew from the beginning, let's say from episode 1, to be like, "Help me!" When instead he's like, I mean, he's not calm about it, but he's like, "Oh." Well,
he's not so stupid that he thinks that someone will come and help him.
Oh, you still want to maybe do like, what's going on? I'm not who they think I am. I don't know.
He's already said that a bunch of times.
Well, sure, but I mean, I just thought he took it more calmly than I expected. Than I think the more innocent version of Howard. I think what they were trying to do this episode.
I think
episode
if shows do that, they're stupid. That's bad writing. He knows the situation that he's in.
I'm just saying.
He knows that he's wearing a bag.
I think they were showing that Howard. Especially because he just killed a guy. I think it's the first time he's killed anybody.
Yeah.
Like, Howard is showing he has Howard Prime traits. And then we end with Howard Prime doing exactly what Howard did in episode 1. Reading the exact same poem at the bedside of Emily with the flowers.
Yes.
That he is becoming more Howard-like.
He's becoming Howard Prime-like?
Howard Prime is...
See, this is...
Howard Prime is... turning the dial toward Howard, and how Howard is turning the dial a little more towards Howard Prime.
Sure, right.
I think
being smart enough to know that no one would help you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not saying it's a mistake. I'm just saying I feel like I was interested to see that he wasn't freaking out.
Yes.
That he's like, oh boy.
Well, I think he's freaking out, but he can only go so far.
Gotcha.
He's still got plenty of ways to go.
The other big theme in this episode, I think, was. Couples who are living with these lies. So you've got Howard Prime hanging out at, supposedly, Emily's bedside.
Yes.
So that's people from two different worlds.
Yes. And
then you've got Peter Quayle and Claire sitting down to dinner.
Yes.
And they have their fake life of like, you're from the other side, and we'll just pretend everything's okay for now.
Right.
Like that's, it was an interesting duality there of those two couples.
And two? There's a third couple.
The third couple being?
Baldwin.
Well, that didn't end so well.
Right, I'm just saying. It fits the theme, too.
It does fit the theme. So, so let's talk about that. So, Baldwin, here's the other person that's lucky to be alive, in my opinion. Peter Quayle, lucky to be alive. Greta. Greta calls out an assassin, shows a laptop with evidence. You're this person, and if not, that's weird. And then takes assassin's bag, opens it up, pulls gun out.
Yes.
What's this? What do you do?
Yeah.
And lives. Good on you, Greta.
Right, but
because Baldwin cares for her.
Yes, and also too, you could also argue that I think all Greta knows is the same thing that the real Nadia, actual Nadia, unprimed Nadia.
Yeah. We'll say Nadia and Baldwin.
You're right. Nadia, well, as far as she knows, Nadia is the one that her previous lover discovers and says, "Oh my gosh, you just lied and said you were dead. What is this about?" Now, she didn't say that, but that's why she was acting that way. It's like, what's going on? Like, I'm not that person. And so that causes Greta to try to find out who this person is. And so, like, this is you, isn't it? That's not me.
Again, she is living in the same town, which does make it easy.
And has the same name. That's my sister, my twin sister, with the same name, she says. You must think I'm an idiot.
That was funny. With the same name. Anyway, and it's, what's great about that scene, too, is that Baldwin is telling the truth.
Right. Now, she could say that, you know what, yes, my name is Baldwin. And my twin sister, Nadia, I killed her. Oh, that's still not good. when she was killed, I decided to take over her identity because I felt like I'd done nothing with my life. But she didn't have that lie ready. And they probably wanted to get rid of her in this season anyway.
But most of the...
But not killed,
most characters in shows and or movies that confront their assassin lover with, like, you've been lying to me, usually die.
Right, but I'm going to suggest that she actually doesn't, they're already knew that Baldwin wasn't dead.
Yes.
So, it's just like here's the last place she was.
Well, I think they're trying to show that Baldwin is not just a stone cold assassin.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying, it'd be interesting if we do see her next.
I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance. Well, we're definitely seeing Baldwin again. Baldwin didn't just take money and leave. But right, that's what I'm saying. I think we will see.
It'd be interesting if it leads them anywhere, because except for this ending, she's got all this money now. She should go someplace else and forget about this whole situation, actually.
But she's going to be in the show, so she's not.
I agree that she probably will be in the show. I'm just saying that,
I mean, I think I even saw that when I talk about the casting for season 2, I think they...
For her intention to leave with the money, she shouldn't need to have Greta dead.
Agreed. Yeah, she doesn't need Greta dead necessarily, but there'd be that kind of loose ends. This person knows me. If she could turn me in, she says, "I'm going to turn you in. I'm going to call the cops."
Right, but she stops her from doing that, and she says that I'm trying not to be this thing that I'm supposed to be. So the only thing we know is about her being a killer, and she doesn't seem to, a number of scenes where she's like, she killed Angel Eyes, for instance, and that didn't seem to be a pleasant experience for her. So I think she's a reluctant
although she did kill the Office of Interchange Agents pretty easily. Handily.
And she kills Aldrich. This one's for me.
Yeah.
I'm throwing this one in for free.
Even though I think it was Cyrus who actually killed Nadia. I don't know that it was Aldrich that actually fired the shot that killed her. But anyway, whatever. I mean, he was chasing her, so.
Yeah, I think she felt like, this guy's clearly... He's
the guy that was...
Oh, and she'd had, he was the first guy to try to, interrogate her, so she knows that guy. She was like, you're going to die.
So the money we just talked about, so that comes about... Howard Prime has this... He's very interested now. He's got this change of heart. Again, this could lead to that theory that Emily and Emily Prime are switched. He's like just desperate to keep Emily alive.
Not that desperate. Well, he becomes desperate.
Yeah, he becomes
Initially,
very desperate.
He's like, okay, Aldrich, take care of her. And he's like, no.
Well, he calls you and say, hey, guard her. And Aldrich sees it as a bargaining chip. So he's like, all right, fine, we'll guard her if you come in and we can
he's
talk
like,
to you.
It's like, you're not going anywhere and I'm going to prove it to you.
Right.
That's
Here's
what
the
he
deal.
says.
I'm going to pull the guards unless you show up.
Well, no, I'm going to pull the guards. What are you going to do then? I think you're going to show up. He doesn't even say if. It's like, we're going to pull the guards. I think I know you so well that you're not going to leave her behind. No, sorry, we're not going to guard her. She's very important to you. You guard her.
So Aldrich, I guess, pulls them in, but doesn't really pull them in because they're still there.
Yes.
They're just... They
can't protect her.
Slight task change.
They can't protect her.
Stand where you were, but look the other direction because someo's coming from the other side.
Back.
I don't know. Anyway, so...
Not from outside the door anymore, outside the building.
Yeah. So, yes, Howard Prime shows up, and he basically waits until Baldwin's going to make her move. So Baldwin is still determined to bump off Emily.
The last conversation she had with Claire was, hey...
I got it. But you already said that she made this talk to Greta, like, I'm trying to change my...
Right, but
after I kill some more people.
Yeah, and get some money.
Right. So she walked in the room, but kudos to Howard Prime, gets the jump on Baldwin. That's not easy.
Nope.
Gets the jump on her.
And interestingly, the thing that gave him away the last time, the final scene, he does it right. So in the first episode,
right, with the flowers.
He puts the flower in, he doesn't do that, and that's what tips off Baldwin. We don't see that recognition at all. She's just going in there. But in the final scene, he puts the flower into the...
Yeah. Yes.
Because he's
becoming Howard. Okay. So Baldwin, he basically makes a deal with her. He's like, look, they're trying to kill you. They're trying to kill me. Here's a bag of money.
Just offset what you're getting paid.
Just offset what you're getting paid. It's more than what you're getting paid, probably. Just don't don't kill my
We
wife.
don't know.
Please don't kill my wife. Huh? Are we good? And she's like, all right, fine. Let me kill some people on the way out. So she kills 5 or 6 people.
Yeah, really well.
Yeah.
They're just really they don't even get a shot off at her at all.
Run. So yeah, she bumps them all off. Then we get Howard Prime Aldrich gets the drop on Howard Prime,
Yes,
so good on him.
Yeah.
But does not think, hey, there was that other agent, that assassin running around the building shooting at people. Maybe I should watch. Oh, too late.
Nope.
He got shot in the side of the head. So Aldrich gets taken out by Baldwin. And she mentions at one point that she knows that it is Howard Prime.
Yes.
So she's like, you're not like the other guy or something.
She knew it. No, because he had to go kill Howard Prime. Claire told her that you had to kill Howard Prime.
Right. But I mean, she recognizes you're that guy.
Yeah.
So,
well, she knew the real Howard wouldn't get the drop on her.
Get the drop on her, exactly. She could have made the Pope mistake, just like, I underestimated you.
Well, she did.
Yeah. Right. So she's off in the wind with a big bag of money now.
Yes.
The bag of money, of course, was gotten from Andre. That's a fun little scene. They kept it in there where apparently you get the idea. The background is Howard Prime calls up Andre, get that bag of money and just wait for me by the corner. So there's a corner, there's the money. Hey, Howard!
It walks away.
Doesn't say a word to the guy.
It just walks off.
Which again is maybe another thing of he's like, that was my wife that you had the affair with, you jerk. Anyway. Whatever. Yeah, it's
It's like,
I don't have time for you. I got things to do.
It's like,
I'm not gonna sit and talk.
It's funny he didn't laugh. That Howard Prime did not laugh in this guy's face when he was like, you're not lonely. You're not the loneliest man. You just look so you're lonely. You're not lonely. You're not alone. Like, yeah, okay. Thanks for the pep talk, pal.
But something I was going to mention was because Andre is the Go player that we did have because we were just doing Altered Carbon as well. We just finished that earlier this week. Go was also in Altered Carbon, and anytime it was played by people who aren't what they claim to be.
Yes.
And so basically, anytime you see Go show up in a show, get ready. Somebody's probably going to get killed, and there's going to be somebody who's shady playing Go. All right, unless they're playing Go Fish, that's fine. All right. So, what other cool facts did we learn from this episode? We talked about Peter, talked about Claire, who, she's got the face on. She's pretending everything's fine. She can, make the dinner and ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But she's obviously got some plans.
Right. So now we can talk about season 2, right? I
Yeah.
think we pretty much covered everything. So you're thinking that Quail still might not belong to this world, I think, or at least that it'll become a problem for Howard Prime.
I think he'll be a problem for Howard Prime. Yes. That's just me. But
that might be many of you. I don't know. Like, one thing we were kind of, at least when we were talking, we touched on the fact that they kind of wrapped up some stuff so that they can put us into this sort of state. So, like, Aldrich and this guy, the only guy who knows, there's a problem.
That was dumb of him, by the way. Cyrus. Be like, I'm assigned to watch out for her.
Yeah.
I'm mad. I'm going to go in.
I'm going to go in there. She's just a woman. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
but they had to kill him off to
have
no one know.
Right. And that comes off as being pretty convenient.
It was convenient.
And so, but here's the thing that I want to bring up: the difference between there's what happened and how it happened. In terms of how it happened, do you think it would be better if it was more time, or it should have happened differently? So, what happened is that at the end of this season, nobody knows, except a few people, that there's this problem.
Okay.
And we go into this next season now. We don't know what's going to happen. But, like, Aldrich and other people, they don't know, so they're dead. And so that's obviously setting up what's going to happen next season, so it needed to be that way. But do you have a problem with that? Or you just feel like how it happened was bad.
Okay. I don't. I mean, as we just talked about, that was the Cyrus thing was convenient. I guess I don't feel like how stuff happened was necessarily that bad. I just felt like
It just happened too easily. Maybe like they would have been better off a little more time, so it seemed like there was more of a battle. Like, you know.
yeah, or like maybe we see more of the ultimate plan that's happening here. Like, I assume there's an ultimate plan. So, you know, they had Angel Eyes goes to the place, the no man's land. He dies. They shut the door. Maybe there's another beat that we get, like and by the way,
Right.
here's a big old jar of poison.
Now it's quite so. Okay, so if one of the problems that shows run into when they're setting up a really huge mystery, which is what this show is doing, like many other shows, is that sometimes they only have time to plan out to a certain extent, and so they get to a point where it's like, ooh, we didn't plan this part as much.
For instance, when they were selling the actress on the Emily part, they gave her the 2 seasons.
Right. Exactly.
Here's the 2-season arc of this character.
Right. So they had to at least have 2 seasons in mind. The reason why I mentioned all that, even though now I'm beginning to forget, is, well, I did forget.
No. All right. So, but you're saying, they've got this thing in mind. They're playing it out in a certain way, and they just left it off here at the end.
Yeah. So I mean, so it's possible that they don't know what's going to come next season, or they know and they just didn't want to start the story. They want to put that story out in a certain way, so they save it for the next season. Either that or they haven't made up their mind. So, what you think they know? They just wanted to not tell you?
Yeah, I feel
and
like
you feel like they should have started to tell you.
I think they should have, because right now it doesn't feel like there's. I mean, you've got Claire, who's in disguise, but you're not seeing like, oh, and by the way, I'm just making up a thing. We've got 200 spies, and they're on their way to Oklahoma to blow up a thing. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
really needed
or
that?
like something that's like
That's a lot.
Like there's trouble. I guess they wouldn't be going to Oklahoma. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe the U.S. I don't know. They're more angry at Germany, but but the fact that it seems like for now the crisis is over. Like, there's not a crisis. Now, there's probably is a crisis, but we don't know what that crisis is.
Right.
That's what I would like to know, a better glimpse of what the crisis is. It just feels like they're like, oh, we closed the door. They're not coming through anymore. Oh, there's this agent, but she's in real trouble. I mean, boy, any day now, her house of cards could fall.
Someone with Baldwin? No,
I'm talking about Claire.
Okay. Really?
I kind of feel that way. Like, Quayle is such a doof. I don't know, like the ability of him to like keep order. I'm just saying, if that's your level of crisis, it doesn't feel monument. It doesn't feel world changing. Like
you don't know how many other people are there.
We don't, and I'd like to get an idea. That's the thing.
So that's what you want. Like,
it seems like they killed off all the spies.
Like if he's laying out some map and you saw all these little.
Yes.
Like, oh, these are other people.
Yes, that would be fine. That would be good.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, look at these red dots.
Yeah.
What are they?
Yeah.
Oh, is that one on top of a nuclear power plant? Oh my God. I don't know.
So that you could freeze it.
Yes, and then we could blow it up. Prince is alive. Yeah, I guess it's just like
he's
that.
Called Pauper.
But you've got the situation where these two worlds, it does feel world changing. Like the events that are happening are going to change these. So it's not as simple as like you can imagine a show about a guy who lives in an apartment building and gets a job. Like, it could be very personal,
right,
whatever that ending is.
Right.
And they have some personal moments.
Right.
The two Howards having a personal thing. And Peter and Claire having a personal little thing. Right. But, like, I wanted something about the world, either the background of the world. We learned something about.
A sense of what's
here's how the crossing was created, or whatever, like, or some kind of like something that tells you, oh, whoa, that's big. I need the whoa, that's big.
Okay. So something of what's coming, or just a greater sense of.
Yeah, I mean, even and like that greater sense of scope, if it somehow informed something that's coming too. You know, like this is how it was created, and that's why this horrible thing is going to happen.
Right. Yeah. I feel like you want more scale to it, And which is why we were thinking that what was going to happen was an event that was similar to what was occurring.
Right, they're going to do like a tit for tat.
Yeah, tit for tat, right. And this isn't that.
Nope.
And I think they are deliberately keeping things lower. And I think they are trying to have it be sort of like a Cold War situation.
Well, it's funny you should even mention that because I know you. I don't think you read the article, right? This New York Times article.
I read it.
So the showrunner basically mentions this point in this thing. And he's like, "What we decided is," I forgot the exact quote here, but it's something along the lines of, "If you give an audience," this is his words, "if you give an audience cocaine every week, it's tougher than to just give them a glass of wine." So we try to do the opposite. We're going to give them a glass of wine, and then occasionally we'll hit them with the big thing. Right. So that's what they. Right. So that makes sense. The slow burn.
Yeah, because I feel like a number of shows, like some people criticize, say, like Marvel movies, for instance, where you have a story between two people, and then it's got a city has to fall, and it's going to be destroy the whole world.
Right. The universe is at stake.
Yes, exactly. Right. And here. While it's important enough to have, a terrorist act of people getting shot, and the reason why it happened is because of a pandemic, you don't have to up it. You don't have to a pandemic, this is a universe emic. You don't have to, meet or match it or whatever. So, And
at the end of the day, this show, as much as it has this sci-fi context and stuff, it is a show that is about the human condition. It's about nature versus nurture. It's about, what would you do given a certain set of circumstances? So it's got a lot of really cool metaphors for the human condition in it that I think are really, really cool. And that's what makes the show great, which it is. Yeah. That makes it for a smaller story. And I can see what you're saying. It was just, I was kind of, you had me interested, and I still am, but it's like, what's it?
See that, they're pusher.
So I do think we're going to learn more about management, and we're going to learn more about how these worlds were created or how these worlds were connected. The backstory is going to come about.
Yeah,
probably in season 2, or maybe. I would think. Some version of it, some portion of it. Yeah. If not the whole thing. I think we're going to find there's going to be a couple of Prime members of people we know. Or maybe Pope would be a Prime. Maybe we learn about the Pope from the other side, or something like that, where we'll have characters come back as their other selves. But I don't know. Anyway, there we go.
There we go.
It was a very, very cool season. I'm glad we watched it and covered it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to going back to season 2 when that comes out. Yeah. And in the meantime, we're going to switch gears to Legion season 2.
Yes, just a couple of days.
And so please join us for that.
Yes.
If you have some cool comments you want to make, some theories about season 2 yourselves, please make them. Anyway, thanks everybody. Subscribe if you want to get more info. Make comments. We'll be commenting back. Bye everybody.
Bye everybody.